Yo, how's it going, boys and girls and other genders of the world? I found 14 PvP myths in Minecraft and we're going to see if some of them are a fact or a cap. So let's just jump into it. Myth number 1. Block hitting deals more knockback. First I tried it with a basic run up and a block hit, and as you can see the player moved back approximately 3 blocks. I did the exact same thing with a run up, but this time I did not block it. Instead I just did a simple W tap. So no, block hitting does not deal more knockback. Next myth. Myth number 2. Rodding deals the same amount of knockback as if you were hit. I placed myself in front of the player and rodded. He took 2 blocks of knockback with a rod hit, but I wanted to check if you can deal less knockback if you were further away from the player, and I threw the rod. It turns out it's the exact same, so this myth is true. Myth number 3. You can win trades without W tapping. Me and the player click around the same CPS, so I told him to just W tap and I wouldn't. And as you can see, I'm having trouble in the trades and the player who's W tapping is winning the majority of the trades. But I also wanted to test if this was the same for normal clicking, and it turns out it was the exact same result. So this myth is partly true. It's pretty situational, but so it's a half truth. Myth number 4. KB is a choice. Now the way we tested this was me normal clicking into one duel, jitter clicking, and finally butterfly clicking. While my opponent is butterfly clicking, you can see when I'm normal clicking I take a lot of KB, but I can still win if I counter this with movement. But all of this changes when I'm jitter clicking. I noticed Lean move a lot less, and it's easier for me to win trades with movement. This doesn't even come close to when I'm butterfly clicking though. I can easily win trades and I barely take any knockback. So yes, I'd say KB is a choice. So this myth is indeed true. Myth number 5. You can still win trades even if you strafen. My opponent here is only double tapping and I'm doing all the strafing, double tapping, S tapping, etc. And my opponent is having a hard time winning the trades and getting combos when I'm constantly moving around him. So this myth is indeed true. Myth number 6. CPS doesn't matter. I'm sure we've all heard this one before. I normal clicked in the first duel against 20 CPS and big shock, I lost. Then I jitter clicked and did surprisingly better, but he was still able to beat me. In the last fight I butterfly click and I managed to win. So yeah, CPS matters to a certain extent, but not always. Myth number 7. You can counter hit selecting. This one was pretty easy, and with good enough movement you can counter hit selecting pretty easily. And you can also counter hit selecting by just hit selecting back too. So this is true. Myth number 8. It's impossible to do 2 360s in one hit and keep the combo. I obviously couldn't do this myself, so I got a really good boxing player, Ozio, to do this. He legit did this within like 10 or 20 minutes. So yeah, this is indeed true. Myth number 9. 1.7 is the superior PvP version. So we all know about the hit delay we have in 1.8 that we all love so much. I also wanted to check if we can move any faster in 1.7 or in 1.8. So we both looked at a 45-degree angle to increase momentum, and to my complete surprise 1.7 is actually 5 milliseconds faster than 1.8, which is barely noticeable, but it's still faster. So I can confidently say that 1.7 is indeed the superior PvP version. Next myth. Myth number 10. A sharp 5 netherite sword deals more damage than an unenchanted netherite axe. I had full diamond armor and a sharp 5 netherite sword did 2.5 hearts of damage. A normal hit with it with no crit did 1.5 hearts of damage, and then we did the exact same thing with the netherite axe. The netherite axe did the exact same amount of damage. Goes to show how strong the axe really is. So this myth is indeed false. Myth number 11. Shields used to make you take knockback even when you block. Thanks to God Elf for telling me, because there's actually a pretty specific snapshot I had to go to use this, and the snapshot was 15W34C. I tested it on a zombie and it's true. You even take damage from the hits, so it wasn't even guaranteed that you'd survive. Myth number 12. You can bow boost high enough to increase the Y axis. I tried my best to bow boost as much as I could, and you can actually increase the Y axis, but only by 1 to 3 blocks at the very maximum. So it is true, but it's pretty useless. So next. Myth number 13. You can reduce damage by simply timing block hitting in top fight. My opponent just did crits on me, and I simply just timed my block hitting, and you can see that I take less damage and I actually ended up winning the fight. So yes, this myth is indeed true. Myth number 14. You can eat and run at the same time without cheat. Just a disclaimer, you cannot do this on minemen.club, and if you end up doing it and someone catches you, yeah, you will be banned. So do this at your own risk. You basically drop the food and then you very quickly click right click. It is indeed true. You can do this. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Subscribe. Bye.